everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting Droggz Da Sunchompa. Yes, the brand new leader of the Gitmob. Here he is. Is it the wolf, or is it the rider? It's the wolf. The wolf's in charge. It's brilliant. Games Workshop has sent him to me early as part of the Gitmob Army set. I'm very excited because I love it. I think it's a fantastic miniature and I'm really looking forward to painting it. So we are going to jump in and we're going to start doing exactly that. So he has been primed in grey Seer. And the colour we're going to be using first is Agrax Earthshade. Now we're going to be applying this over the top of all of Droggz's body, but not his kind of head and neck. So we're not going to be going up here. We're just going to be doing this over the top of the rest of it, and we are also just going to avoid the tail as well. And this will all become clear as to why a bit later on. So we're going to take the Agrax Earthshade and we're going to start applying it around here on the tummy. Like so. I'd recommend just taking this a section at a time. Watch out for any large dark pools. And just make sure you've got it all. So I've just missed a bit right around the corner in there. You can probably just about see it. There we go, like that. So with all that Agrax Earthshade applied, as you can see, what we're now going to do, whilst we're waiting for it to dry, is we're going to move on to our next colour, which is going to be some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over the top of the tail and the head. So with that all done, both the Nuln Oil and the Agrax Earthshade are now dry, and so what we're going to do is we're going to do some kind of blending and things like that, and this is going to tie the two colours together because it looks a bit disparate at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Black Templar and Lahmian Medium, and we're going to be applying this, like I said, as a bit of a blend all over. So we're going to start down here on the tail, and we're just going to apply this like so over the top of most of it, barring the kind of very apex of the tail, like that sort of thing. So I'm going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're just going to mess it up a bit, like so. Just a bit very casual, very gentle blend going. I'm just going to quickly do the other side so as not to get any weird patching. Do it like this. Wash the brush, touch off the water, then we're going to muss and fuss it up. Like that. Lovely. That's part one. The next part is to do the, well, back legs basically. And we're going to start at the, what's that? That's a strap. And we're going to start here in this crease as well. And we're just going to bring it down there on the leg. Bring it down past the calf. Get this all over to around about there. Wash the brush, touch off the water, going to give it a little blend, like so, at the bottom. Then once more, we're just going to come down the inside of the leg. Like that. Just noticed a black spot there, which we don't want. It's just going to absorb the paint a little bit. There we go. Turn it round. Bring it down. And then wash the brush. Touch off the water. Then give it that quick blend. Like so. So it gently moves between that darker area into our Agrax Earthshade. Perfect. We've just missed a tiny little bit, I think. Yeah. In here. Should we just use a tiny amount of black Templar? We pick it up. Then on the actual belly here, we're going to apply some of this coming down like that and like that. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and again just give it a little fuss in to soften that transition like that. We have the back of the body where we're going to apply this like so. We'll do it on this side as well, but slightly differently. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and around the hair we're going to give it a bit of a blend. So it starts to become more brown towards the top, like that. And again, we'll do this on the other side, just to finish it. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and give it a bit of fuss in, like that. Now we want to do the same thing across, well, all three of the rest of the legs. However, there is one last area that we need to work on, and that's the head. And basically what we're going to do here is down the nose, starting from the nose, we're going to apply this like so, around the back of the ears, like that. We then got a little bit more that we're then going to do on the underside of the cheeks, basically around here and on the other side as well. But we are going to once again wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're just going to give it a quick little fuss in. And we're going to do that on the other side as well, but we do need to take some of that black Templar and apply this over the mane like this, coming all the way, and then we wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we give it a good fuss in, like that. And so with that all done all the way around, as you can see, what we're now going to do is we're going to take black Templar on its own, and we're going to apply this over top of the little tufts of hair sticking out here and there. I'm going to wash the brush, touch off the water, And then just very carefully go in there and blend it. Like this one's on the back of the leg. Like that. Got one here as well. Wash the brush. A little bit of extra blending here and there. It's not very much. But the other thing we are going to do is we're going to take that Black Templar on its own and just down the kind of central part of the nose. We're going to apply the Black Templar like that and just bring it up a little bit like that. Not very much at all. So with that all done, it might seem a little bit early, but what we are actually going to do is going to do a little bit of highlighting, because we're going to actually just kind of finish the wolf pelt before we kind of do anything else. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some thinned down grey Seer, and this is just around the face. What we're going to do is essentially, very roughly, to kind of represent that it's furry, we're going to relayer the grey Seer like this, around the face. Like I said, we're not looking for a perfect relayer, so we're just doing lots of little brush strokes. Like that sort of thing. So with that grey Seer all reapplied to the face, as you can see, it's just neatened it up a little bit, and it also just makes it a little bit brighter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dry brush basically the rest of it, excluding this kind of head area, with some Karak Stone. And, well, we're just going to gently start up here. Now, we don't want to apply too much pressure here. We're literally just looking to catch the kind of loose hairs and edges like that around the scars and things like that. It's going to be a really subtle little highlight, this one. And with that Karak Stone dry brush all applied, we're then going to take some Pallid Witch Flesh. We're going to really gently dry brush this now over the top of the entirety of the model, particularly focusing around here on the head. Like that sort of thing. Very, very gentle. but for the rest of the body we are similarly just going to kind of focus this around areas like the hair and the toes. So with that all done, the fur and skin and all that is now finished. So we're actually just going to now start moving on to the rest of the details. So the next colour we're going to be using is some Volupus Pink. And we're going to apply this over the top of the eyes, the bit surrounding the eyes, like so. And we're also going to apply this over the inside of the mouth and the teeth. Next up, we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of the claws. So with that all done, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Lamia medium to 1 part Cygor Brown mix. And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the leather. And the reason we thinned it down is so that we can get that exact colour right there. Now you'll notice on the box art that actually these larger kind of leathery armour parts are red. Well, that's what we're going to do after this is fully dry. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is take some Blood Angels Red, and over the top of this one, this one, this one and this one, we're going to apply this. Just like this. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Snakebite Leather and we're going to apply this over the top of this kind of wicker stuff. Back here. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over quite a lot of fiddly small details. So we're going to start by applying the Black Legion over top of the boots, which isn't exactly a fiddly detail, but there you go. So I'm going to apply this like so. And then, once we've done the boots, we're going to move on to the little cable ties on our Snakebite Leather assembly at the back. We're going to apply this over top of his shoulder armour and his tummy armour. And we've got alternating checkers as well on the shield. And the best way to deal with this is to just pick one to start. It's this one right here. And then we're just going to alternate them all the way around the shield. But otherwise, we're just going to keep going with the Black Legion until we're done. And to be clear, we're not doing these large ones. So this one here, that one, that one, that one, that one, or that one. Those are going to be a different colour. But these small ones are indeed going to be Black Legion. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Flesh Tearers Red. And we're going to apply this over top of the wraps on his body. Such as on the arms and legs. We're going to apply this over the top of that remaining bit of stuff on the Snakebite Leather assembly at the back there. And I'm going to apply it over the top of the wolf's tail fabric. And I'm going to apply it over the top of the shield facing. So with all that Flesh Tearers Red applied, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade. We're going to apply this over the top of his shirt and skirt. So we've got a bit of the shirt just here. We do have some hair back here as well that we also want to do right on the back in there, see? So with that all done, we're then going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur. And we're going to apply this over the top of his leather armour on the chest and on the back. What we're also going to do with the Gore-Grunta Fur is apply this over this bit of string. With that Gore-Grunta Fur all applied, we then want to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of the wood of the hammer. Or rather, I assume it's a hammer. Mace? Maybe. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Blood Angels Red. We're going to apply this over the top of these two banners on either side. So we're just going to start up here at the top and just pull this all the way down. Like so. With that Blood Angels Red all applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to apply this over quite a few, again, little bitty details here and there. So we've got things like these little tassels on the shield, and we've got the little teeth as well back here. Like that sort of thing. We've got the tusks that are being used as stirrups and the trophies as well, dangling from the wolf's armour there on the front. We've got the horns on the helmet and on the shoulders, and we've got the skulls as well. With all that skeleton horde applied, we then want to take some Gutrippa Flesh. I'm going to use this over the top of all of his skin. So with that all done, we're now going to work on the mace head. And, well, we're going to use two colours to do it. We're going to use Nazdreg Yellow and Black Legion. And basically what we're going to do here is we're going to start by taking Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over the top of the mace head. Like this. Just like that. Then we're going to wash the brush. And then we're going to grab Nazdreg Yellow. It might seem weird that we're doing it this way, but there is a reason. It's because what we want to do is we want to apply the yellow in there like so. And we don't want to kind of cover the whole thing in the yellow and then try and blend in black. Just like that, really. And then we're going to wash the brush. Going to go back to the Black Legion. On the back here, we're going to apply this. Like so. Wash the brush. And grab that Nazdreg Yellow. You're going to want to wash the brush every time, and every time you apply the Nazdreg Yellow, you're basically going to have to go back and get some more. But just look for recesses and things. And then once this is done, we'll come back. So with that all done, it's now time to add some metallics. And the first of these are going to be some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to be applying this over the top of things like the trim of the shield, how we got the sun in the middle, but not the Git face. We have all the kind of spikes and buckles and things like that as well. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh no, we have the helmet as well up here. And so with all of that silver applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. We're going to apply this over the top of all of our remaining details, excluding the wolf plume, or fur plume, the fur on the helmet. So with that all done, we've got all of our base coats on Droggz, but well, excluding this one up here. But before we get to that, we've got a little bit more blending to do, and then we've got some shades to do. So the blending, what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Cygor Brown to 1 part Lamia medium mix. I'm going to apply this up these banners and blend it into the red. So I'm going to start at the tip here, bring it all the way up to around about there, like so. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're going to give it that fussing again to blend that lovely dark red brown into the red, like so. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Go from the tip, like so. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then blend like that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Nuln Oil and we're going to apply this over top of that wolf pelt helm thing, but we're also going to use this to shade the black armour, the red of the shield, and all the silver. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is another bit of kind of wet blending type situation, but also shading at the same time. Because what we have is we have all the gold to shade, but we also have this large sun assembly at the back here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using 3 colours to do the sun in 2 places, here and over here. And we're going to be using 1 colour, which is also one of the other colours, to be doing the rest of the gold. So the colours we're going to be using are Reikland Fleshshade, Gryph-Hound Orange, and Blood Angels Red. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Reikland Fleshshade, and we're going to apply this over top of all the gold. So for example, like that sort of thing, over the top of these 2 sections. But as mentioned, we need to make these 2 here, this one and that one, really fiery and orange. So we're going to take some Gryph-Hound Orange and we're going to apply this over the top of this piece of metal, like that. And then we're going to wash the brush, grab a little bit of Blood Angels Red, and around the bottom here we're going to apply Blood Angels Red, like that. We will need to do the same thing on the other side, but we will go back to Reikland Fleshshade now, and we shall shade in the rest of the gold till we get to this side over here, and we need to once again grab that Gryph-Hound Orange. That's way too much. Apply this over the top, and then grab that Blood Angels Red once again. Again, way too much. We're going to apply this over the bottom, like that. As for the rest of the gold, all we need to do is just take some Reikland Fleshshade and apply it over the top, like that sort of thing. So with all of that now done, we can take our final shade, which is some Biel-Tan Green. We're going to apply this over top of all of the goblin skin. So with that all done, he is now what I would call a war hipster battle ready and is looking pretty awesome. However, we're not going to leave it there, of course not. We're going to take it to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some highlights in the first of these. Here's another dry brush. And it's the same one that we did before. It's Karak Stone. And we're going to be using this to dry brush our Snakebite Leather areas. We just really kind of just want to hit the middle of them. This is just to add a little bit of variation to it so it doesn't look all the same colour. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull. And we're going to use this to highlight our bones and horns and all that good stuff scattered around the model. However, what we're also going to do with the Screaming Skull is we're going to use this to pick out both sets of teeth. On both the wolf and the rider, and we're going to use this to pick out the wolf's eyes, but on this eye with the scar we want to just block the whole eye in. Like that. On the other one, what we want to do is we want to add a tiny little dot in each corner. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Evil Sun Scarlet, just a teeny tiny dot. We're going to apply this over the top of his eye. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Squig Orange. We're going to use this to highlight, well, all of our red details, including this red leather. With that red all highlighted, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Skarsnik Green. I'm going to use this to highlight the green. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is take some thinned down Dawnstone. And we're going to use this to highlight all of our black details. So this is now where we're going to also highlight the claws of the wolf. And with all that Dawnstone applied, we then want to take a small amount of Administratum Grey, and on the armour up here we're just going to add a little spot highlight on the sharpest corners. Like that. What we're also going to do with the Administratum Grey, we use this to highlight the mace head. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the silver. We're also going to use this now to also pick out all of the little rivets. Like that sort of thing. So with all the Ironbreaker applied, we've just got a couple of things left to do, and that's all the gold. And we're going to start up here by taking some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to reapply this over the top of this central bit, just avoiding anywhere where the shade has really settled. With our Retributor Armour all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold, and we're going to similarly do a bit more layering, but we're just going to kind of stick to the brightest, flattest parts of this assembly. Just like that. You just want to make it really bright. Sticking with the Liberator Gold, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the rest of the gold with Liberator Gold. So we're going to be highlighting the orangey red parts up here. As well as the other gold details. And finally, we can finish off Droggz by taking some Stormhost Silver and using this to highlight the brightest parts of our sun. So with Droggz all finished, that doesn't mean the party's over. We've got the base to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something really simple here. We're going to take some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over top of the rocks and the skulls. But don't worry, it's not all going to look exactly the same. We're going to change it. So with all that Skeleton Horde applied, we're now going to create a little bit of variation in the rocks, and we're just going to use 3 shades to do this, but we're going to start off by taking some Targor Rageshade, and we're going to apply this over top of this front one. It might seem strange, but over the back rock, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Berserker Bloodshade and apply this over top of this rock. And with that done, we're then going to use a combination of the 2 that we've just used. So Targor Rageshade Berserker Bloodshade and Agrax Earthshade over the top of this third and final rock. And we're just going to kind of apply them haphazardly. So we're just going to start with some Agrax Earthshade, and we're just going to sort of throw some of it on there. That sort of thing. We're going to wash the brush. Grab a little bit Berserker Bloodshade. Get that in there. And then we're going to wash the brush and grab some Targor Rageshade and just kind of throw that in there as well. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Armageddon Dust. And we're going to apply this over top of all of our negative space, but we're also going to apply this over top of all of the soil that's there, because we don't have really an analogous colour for what I want, so we're just going to apply the Armageddon Dust over the top. But don't worry, it's not going to stay this sandy if you are following along. Of course, you might have turned the video off already because you're going to base it your own way. That's absolutely fine. Once all of that Armageddon Dust is fully dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take two colours. They are going to be Skeleton Horde and Gore-Grunta Fur. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of it. So I'm going to apply Skeleton Horde first. Like this. And then, once we've got that Skeleton Horde all over, what we're going to do is wash the brush and then grab some Gore-Grunta Fur, and we're just going to sort of haphazardly apply this whilst it's still wet. Over the top to create this kind of patchy red earth. So with that all done, we're now going to finish it off by dry brushing the entire base with Tyrant Skull. We will add some tufts and do the rim, but that is the painting complete. So with that basing all complete, Droggz Da Sunchompa is now finished, and we use this basing technique, recipe, whatever you want to call it, over the top of all of our Gitmob. So if you want it, follow this video to do the rest of them. But I really like him. I think he's an absolutely stunning miniature. He's beautiful. The wolf is incredible. And, well, I mean, the goblin's just kind of secondary there because it's a beautiful miniature overall. It's a really nice one. I love this. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com youtube.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.